let me just check if I am going live. Just have a look if we have sound. Just have a look. Yes, we are now live. So, welcome back to the GT3 World Series. This is Season 6 and this is Round 5. We have the 90-minute race from the Nurburgring GP. Usual royals apply for the endurance. You've got to use all three compounds. This time we do have a threat of rain, so if it does rain and we have to use the wet tyres, which they're already on, so the usual tyre rule will be negated. But after 10 minutes qualifying, we'll go through the grid. So Brucey puts it on pole in the Mercedes. Then we have Dennis in second in the Porsche. Third is Jason in the Audi. Then we have Kenobi in the Ferrari 296 in fourth. Ketman lines up in fifth in the Subaru. Then we have Rossi in another Ferrari in sixth. Black Rhino in seventh in the Porsche. Evil Knievel there in the older Ferrari in eighth. Smiles Bagoo in ninth. Great qualifying for her. She's in the first liveried BMW. Let's just have a look at that. Very nicely done there. Locke lines up in 10th in the Ferrari. And Wolf lines up in 11th in the VW. So let's get this action underway. If you are all watching now, welcome to the show. I hope you enjoy my voice for the next 100 minutes. It's just over a 90-minute race. I do apologise for that, but 47 laps. Let's see who can get down to the first corner, and lights out and away we go. So Brucey gets a lightning start there. Catman pulls off to the left. Obviously, he doesn't want to be near the front at the on the first lap. Brucey just coming around the first corner. Everyone else coming through now. Going over there second. Dennis third. There's Jason and Evil Knievel going toe to toe. You can see the windscreen wipers are going at the minute. No sign of heavy rain at the minute though. We've got Rossi there in sixth. Smiles up into seventh. Black Rhino there in eighth. Bit cautious from a couple of guys here at the minute. Locke there in ninth, followed by Catman, now down to 10th. And there's Wolf in 11th. Back up the front then, with the double wipers, is Brucey in the Mercedes. A little bit of a slide from him as he goes around the fourth corner. Now down to the hairpin. The bottom of the GP Stracker. No Nordic life today, unfortunately. I see a big gap for Brucey then to second position. Kenobi, you can see the rain now starting to fall heavier. Let's see if it can get the track wet enough so these intermediates don't burn out too much. While we watch Kenobi go around following Brucey, I'm just going to notify the GT3 guys. There we go. So big points on offer then for this race. First position gets you 50 points. Well, second gets you 45, I believe. And so on to last position. There's Dennis in third, just coming through the chicane then. Evil Knievel now up into fourth. Jason now in fifth, just coming through the hairpin. Definitely going to be an interesting race to see, especially if it stops raining and the dry line starts appearing. What's the strategy going to be? You can already see some sort of strategy from the different guys. You've got Brucey on the inters, followed by Kenobi as well, and Dennis. Then you've got Evil Knievel on the wets, followed by Jason on the wets. Ross is on the wets. Smilers is on the intermediates in seventh. They have Black Rhino onto the intermediates. Wolf is on the intermediates, Locke in 10th on the wets, and Catman is on a hybrid system there. He's got intermediates on the front and wets on the rear, so he's planned for both scenarios as Locke struggles to get the power down out the corner there, out the Mercedes complex. He's going to go side by side, try and get an overtake on the Catman there. Goes round on the inside. Lovely stuff there. See if we can keep it on track. Oh, back up to the front. Brucey still leading the way in first position. Kenobi there in second. Dennis right behind him. He's going to have to try and defend his best and use the wet lines so he doesn't lose the grip as the rain is starting to fall heavier now. So we do start on 80% fuel as well, so that will play into the strategy. You see the rain lights going, the wipers going as we now head up towards the chicane. Bruce is just going through the chicane now. Second and third now coming through the chicane as well. Evil Knievel there in fourth, looking very good at the minute, but those tyres are starting to wear a lot as well now. It's not wet enough for these wet tyres, but it will be soon. Rossi there in fifth. Jason now down to sixth. Not sure if he's had a scrappy lap there. Let's see what his lap time is. Very similar towards the first lap. He's got Black Rhino right behind him. Wolf there in eighth. Smiles now down to ninth. Locked there in 10th, just coming down towards the first turn. And Catman at the back. We'll have to see if these guys get through the first turn. Okay, they do. Now just coming towards the complex as the rain is getting heavier now. So these guys are going to have to think about how much grip they've got left on these wet tyres with them overheating. Rossi there, just coming towards the left-hander, dipping it down now. A little bit gap to him, to Evil Knievel. You've got Dennis right behind Kenobi in second, and there's Brucey out in front. You can hear the thunder of the Mercedes engine as he comes through the Schumacher S's up the hill. Now towards the left-hander. Then through the right-hander. If you can hear scratching in the background, it's the cat who's decided to have a poo while I'm doing commentary. Typical. But we head up the hill then towards the chicane. Through the chicane, Brucey goes, clips the left, clips the right. A little bit of an oversteer as he comes out the exit there. Now through the final turn. Number 24 leading the way, a little bit of a slide. Lovely stuff from Brucey there. And on for another lap he goes. There's Kenobi in second, just ahead of Dennis. Still sticking together these two. Evil Knievel there in fourth. Just a little bit of a gap to the second and third position. Rossi there in fifth. Then we have this gaggle of cars here. We've got 6, 7, 8, 9 all close together. Jason trying to find the increasingly wet line that is forming now. As he tips it through the first corner, through the hairpin. Now we go into the complex of corners. That is the Mercedes Stadium area. Using that wide line, keeping off those curbs. Black Rhino there, falling through. Wolf there right behind him. Smiles just lagging a little bit behind, but she's making good progress as we go through. Locked there in 10th. Lots of oversteer there as he gets on the white painted lines. Obviously, usually in the dry you would use that line, go wide as possible. Kind of want to avoid that in the wet. It just does unsettle the car as you get on the painted areas of the track. So it's coming down towards the hairpin now. Feathering the throttle as he goes through the corner. Gonna try and watch that power deployment as you accelerate out the corner. Now through the Schumacher S's. It's a little bit on the gravel there. but starting to struggle with that tyre wear on the tyres now. Catman there, a little bit better tyre wear from him in 11th place. Just taking his time. He did say he's probably going to go onto the soft tyres as soon as he sees a dry line forming, so we'll have to watch out for that, see who gets rotated. Well, back up the front then, Brucey now starting at lap 5. His tyres not too bad at the minute. Managed to negate that tyre wear. So we'll see have to see how this one plays out for Brucey. Like I said, there's going to be plenty of strategy options in this race. Plenty of time to go. We've got an hour and a half to go still in this race. We're only on lap 5 of 47. Very long race, but really big points on offer for all the guys who finish this race. So I have to see how this develops as we go through. Dennis and Kenobi still together. Probably going to be the story of the race for these two, to be honest. They usually do stick together every round. Very similar sort of pace from them both. Dennis has made a really big improvement over the last few seasons. Now, top driver of Lobby 3. Close for the points as well for these guys at the top of the table. Now, just coming through the fast right-hander, now down the hill towards the chicane. Let's see what these guys are going to do. Is anyone bound to pit yet? We've got sirens in the background. So it looks like Bruce is designed to pit then. Not like in this set of intermediates. Is he going to go another intermediate, or is he going to change to the wets now that the water meter on the left-hand side of the tyres is creeping up? As Kenobi and Dennis go through, second and third. Evil Knievel goes through as well in fourth. Rossi there is going to go through for another one. Black Rhino, same with him, same with Jason. Wolf there in 8th, he's coming through as well. Smiles, she's coming through the hairpin. Catman, what's Catman going to do? He's coming through the chicane now. A little bit of a touch of oversteer there as Brucey falls down the order as everyone doesn't pit. Lock's coming out of the chicane now. He's got the hazards on. Is he going to decide to retire the car? No, he's just recovering from a spin. Brucey comes out the pits in 9th position. He's gone for a fresh set of intermediates, more fuel. Gone for a fuel load there. So didn't like that worn set of intermediates. It should be faster on the fresh set, but compared to the wet tyre runners will be quicker while we're in this heavy rain. Lock now, look at those tyres. He's going to be slipping and sliding everywhere. Potentially, Bruce has just played a blinder compared to the rest of the field, so we'll have to see how that works out with these guys. Because these guys can go a little bit longer if they stay on these set of tyres. You see a little bit of a gravel tracking for Kenobi, a little bit of sideways action for Dennis in the Porsche. He's dropping those bags of sweeties for everybody else to get. Evil Knievel now in 3rd then. Just making his way through. Rossi there in 4th. Black Rhino 5th. Followed by Jason, who just kicked a little bit of gravel onto the track in 6th position. He comes through these 2 connecting corners through the left, then the right. Oh, Jason gets it wrong, gets a little bit of slip on the outside of the track there. Into one barrier, into another barrier there. Smiles coming through now. Bruce is there as well. What's going to happen here? You see the slow moving car, Jason. Bruce has gone to the grass. What biblical scenes have we arrived at here? So you've got two slow cars on the track there. Brucey opts to go for the grass. Let's just have another look at that. Let's go on board with him. You see the driver in rain here makes a quick decision, goes onto the grass, manages to get back on the track without spinning. Beautiful stuff from Brucey there. Not sure whether that's going to be a penalty or whether it could be deemed as just evasive manoeuvring, but passing the grass for Brucey. You usually see that kind of driver in NASCAR. He is a avid fan of NASCAR. We've got other people pitting, so Dennis pits from 5th position on the inters. Jason's in the pits. He's going to get another set of tyres. There's Catman and Wolf pitting as well. Watt's going to go through for another lap. So Kenobi on his own in 1st position then. 2nd, Evil Knievel. Now that Dennis has pitted. Rossi there up into 3rd. Black Rhino there in 4th, just still plugging away on those tyres. Brucey already catching 4th position up after pitting. He's going to be able to go longer with the full fuel load. And obviously fresh intermediates, so when it starts to dry, he's surely going to be able to attack more than the guys on the wet tyres. Smiles right behind him in 6th position. She's still plugging away on those intermediate tyres. Dennis now, after pitting, he's got a fresh set of wets, so he's opted to go ditch the inters and gone for the wets now. So see what happens with him. Locke is there, just a little bit on the curb there. Gotta be careful. Gonna start slipping and sliding. He's still plugging away on those wet tyres, even though they are very, very warm at this stage. Jason's gone for a new set of wet tyres. Wolf, same from him, but he's got a 3-second penalty for cutting the pit lines. That's going to give Catman a free position when he saves that penalty. He's in 11th place, right behind Wolf. And he's gone for another fresh set of wets as well. So he's ditched the intermediate tyres. Up front, intermediate tyres still for Kenobi. He's not pitting yet. He's going to go for a few more laps as we fastly approach a lap 10. Evil Knievel just coming through in 2nd on the wets. Same with Rossi in 3rd on those wet tyres as well. Black Rhino on the intermediates in 4th position. No pit stop for him yet, but there's Brucey. Pitted on end of lap 5. By lap 8, he's already right behind Black Rhino in 4th. There's Smiles now pitting from 7th position. She's going to get some fresh tyres. Whether she goes for the wets or the intermediates, we'll have to see. But Locke goes through. Now in 7th position. Tell you what, I'll give him his due. He's still persevering with these wet tyres, even though they are heavily worn. Jason there in 9th. Is he going to beat Smiles out the pits? Probably is, because she's still refueling. And she's sat like a lemon, getting the fuel. Takes a very long time. You can see the relevant... Oh, she got a 3-second penalty as well for the pit lines. Does she keeping out the exit pit line? She does. So just a 3-second penalty for Smiles there, as she goes on a fresh set of weights as well. So she's ditched the inters. There's Catman just behind Smiles, so he possibly is going to get another free position there as well. Wolf served his penalty. He's in 11th. Back up to the front then. Kenobi still leading the way in 1st. You see the gap there to him. Evil Knievel 2nd. And we have another gap to Rossi in 3rd. Black Rhino there in 4th, but he's come under fire from Brucey now in 5th. Wets or intermediates versus new intermediates. Let's see where Brucey goes for the overtake here. Trying to carve his way through the field. Is he going to send it on the inside? He is. Best of the late breakers is Brucey. Down into the hairpin. Makes easy work of Black Rhino there. You can see Dennis as well right behind him, so he's going to want some action as well. Trying to get an overtake on Black Rhino. He's opted for the wide line. Can he get the power down? He gets on the curb on the outside, gets the power down. Overtake done and dusted. Black Rhino just falls in behind, so he's now down to 6, loses 2 positions in 2 corners. You can see the wets and the fresh inters compared to his worn inters doing the job. Now, can Dennis dispatch Brucey? Dennis is going to have the tyre wear here. Locks pitted from 7th position. He's going to go for a new set of wet tyres. Dennis there on the inside of Brucey. Brucey going for the wet wide line there. So Dennis sizing Brucey up now. He's on the outside line. Can he get the move done as they go side by side? Lovely stuff. Lovely wet line exit there. Round the outside he goes. And Dennis now up into 4th. Let's see if Brucey can stick with him as Dennis tries to skulk away. Oh, he definitely can now. Brucey's ran it wide into the gravel he goes. Picks up some kitty later for his trouble. Gets going though before Black Rhino arrives on the scene. But a little costly mistake there from Brucey. He's going to have to try and catch up, back up to Dennis now. So back up the front then, Kenobi still leading the way. A little bit more fuel left. Kenobi, not Kenobi, sorry, that's Kenobi. Evil Knievel's the same. Rossi likewise in 3rd. Then we have Dennis and Brucey, then Black Rhino there in 6th. Jason there in 7th, followed by Smiles in 8th. Must have had a little issue with Catman because Catman didn't get the overtake done when she served the penalty, so she runs a little bit wide there off the hairpin. Lock there in 9th position. Catman in there in 10th, and Wolf there in 11th. Let's just go back to this little battle brewing here. Smiles in front of Lock. She gets it all manners of sideways there off the Schumacher Ressers. Lock's going to size her up, see if he can get an overtake. She gets out the way, runs wide there on the corner, so Lock now up into 8th. Just going to have a drinks break as we see them go down the hill. So we're back with the action. Into the hairpin we go then. Lock then decided to go on a fresh set of wets to deal with the torrential rain that we have now. So Smiles there, then there's Catman and Wolf coming round in 11th position. So back up to the front then. No action yet. Kenobi still leaning over Evil Knievel, but that gap is coming down. Kenobi must have had a little incident somewhere because that gap has come down a lot, hell of a lot. Let's see if these guys are going to pit this lap. Expecting the rain to last for around 20 more minutes, possibly. So coming through the hairpin now, Kenobi. Let's see if he dives into the pit lane this time. He doesn't go straight through. Evil Knievel, what's he going to do? He's diving into the pit lane, so Knievel pits from 2nd position. Rossi there in 3rd. You can see all 3 lights of the Ferrari lit up. Looks like he's going to dive into the pits this time as well. Dennis there in 4th. He's going to come through. A little bit of a slide on the back end for him. Followed by Brucey. Now coming through the chicane. Weirdly, not a slide from Brucey there. Let's see if he kicks out the back end through the hairpin. A little bit of one, but very, very stable from Brucey there. He might be fuel saving at the minute. We're using the fuel map. Turns the power down. Doesn't get as much oversteer there. You see there's Knievel and Rossi still fueling their cars up. Black Rhino goes through in the 4th position. Jason just coming through the final turn now. Knievel's out of the pits. Managed to keep it off of the white lines. Lovely stuff from him. Rossi's going to come out the pits now. It's going to be close with him and Jason. I think he's going to get to turn 1 before he does. So Rossi's going to come out the pits in 6th position. There's Jason just coming to the first turn now. Lock there in 8th. Still struggling a little bit on those wet tyres, but he's making that Ferrari go the right direction as best as he can. Catman there in 9th. He's now past Smiles. Smiles now down in 10th. But there's Wolf at the back on his own, just trundling away in that Beetle, trying to get the best result he can in the race. Kenobi there in 1st, then still just getting these laps plugged away. Sure, they're going to have to pit this time. Very low on the fuel now. As he comes through the chicane very, very gingerly. Doesn't want to spin it. Now into the pits. Be careful of those white lines. They are more difficult to see. And you've got to brake for this corner before going to the pits. There he goes. Dennis is here now. He's going to take the 1st position. As he goes through the chicane. Kicks the rear end up there. Just over half a tank for him as he comes around the hairpin. There's Brucey. Very similar fuel saving for him as well. Fuel level. He's going to come around the last corner. We've got Black Rhino. Looks like he's going to go for another lap, even though the fuel is low, so he thinks he can do it. Just in front of Evil Knievel was on a fresh set of wets. Obviously, while it's raining, if you want to stay on the same tyre, you don't actually need to take the tyres, so Evil Knievel can get a lot faster. There's Kenobi just coming out the pits there. That's very close with these two. Just managed to get out in front. Timed that perfectly compared to these two. You see Evil Knievel stuck behind Black Rhino. Black Rhino defending very well from him there. A little bit of a touch there. Oh, there's a little bit of an incident there. Evil Knievel just into the back of Black Rhino. Not sure whether he was caught out there, but thanks to GT physics, bounced off the back of him. So that's going to cost him more time for that little incident there. Rossi there in 6th. Can see the action going on in front of him. Hoping they battle even more so he can catch up. You see Evil's back on the back of Black Rhino again. We'll just stick with this for a little while so we can see if there's an overtake here. So going up the hill then towards this Schumacher S's. Oh, a little bit wide for Evil Knievel there. Just, he got the car unsettled as he went through the 2nd phase of the Schumacher S's there. He's gone wide again from the dirty tyres. Rossi is loving this. Right behind him now. He's surely going to try and get an overtake here. Rossi to the inside. Thunders down the back straight. Gets that move done. So into the braking phase, you can see Evil Knievel braking right behind Rossi. Gained a little bit of time there, right on his rear bump, on his rear diffuser. Is he going to go for an overtake into the last turn? Not this time. He's got Black Rhino now pitting from 4th position. Rossi there now in front of Kenobi. Not Kenobi, Knievel, sorry. So 4th and 5th. Jason there in the Audi in 6th. Black Rhino in the pits. Catman coming through. George Kane still on those wet tyres. The rain looks like it's easing off a little bit. So we can't see the weather map ourselves, so no idea when the rain is going to end. We're just going to guess and go on the visuals as we fast approaching the half an hour mark. So we've got 70 minutes left in this race still. Catman there in 7th, still just getting a bit sideways in that Subaru, doing a great job at the minute. There's a Black Rhino out the pits in 8th. American has gone for a fresh set of inters. Smiles there on the wets in 9th. Wolf's there in 10th. We've actually lost Locke. I'm guessing he's decided to retire the car. The Ferrari not liking the wet conditions, so unfortunately we lost Locke. Very unfortunate for Locke there. He's a very good racer in the MRC, very respectable. Well, back up to the top of the race then. Dennis leading the way in 1st, followed by Brucey there in 2nd. Dennis just with a little bit more fuel than Brucey there. Kenobi there in 3rd, trying to close this gap to the top 2. Evil Knievel there in 4th, now getting past Rossi. So position change for these two. Jason right behind him in 6th. He's just coming through the chicane there. Catman in 7th, followed by Black Rhino in 8th. Smiles right behind him in 9th. And Wolf there in 10th. So not many battles going on at the minute. I'd say the closest one is this one with Evil Knievel, Rossi and Jason. Mr. Holdier there. A little bit of a slide down the back end for Evil Knievel as he tries to get the car stopped. So just coming through the complex there then. Cars look composed as they travel through the heavy wet conditions. The rain moving from the UK to Germany. It's been absolutely dreadful the last week. Had all the sun at the end of May, beginning of June, and then it's all disappeared. Hopefully the sun comes back soon and we get a proper helping of sunshine for the summer. You see Evil Knievel just coming through the Schumacher S's then. As you see, Jason, he's gone wide, he's spinning, he's getting rotated. Unfortunate for Jason. We're going to go on board with him because the cameras have lost him. There we go. Short little spin for Jason. That's going to cost him. That's a costly mistake there for him. You can see the gap is still got a sizable gap behind him, but he's lost ground to 4th and 5th now. That is not going to help him. So we're going to have to recompose, get the confidence back in the car, and settle down and get some quality laps out as best as he can. See this battle starting to fizzle out now. You can see the gap brewing between Knievel and Rossi. Top 3 all very, very even Stevens in the gaps there. Dennis just opening that gap a little bit on Brucey. Brucey trying his best just to deal with the situation in hand. He's got intermediates on. He's not going to have the tyre performance that Dennis does on the wets. He's going to have to make do when this rain stops. It's go time. Hopefully the rain is going to stop pretty soon. So Knievel there, Rossi in 5th, Jason 6th, and Catman 7th. Black Rhino then 8th, followed by Smiles in 9th, and Wolf there at the back in 10th. He's going to come under fire from the leader soon. He's going to start getting lapped. Unfortunate for him. You see Dennis is right there, just come out of the Schumacher S's. Now towards the quick left and the quick right. You see Mercedes AMG sponsors in the background there of the complex. As we head down the hill. Through the fast right kink. Up to the chicane. Through the chicane we go. Lap 15. Lap 15 of 47. Very close to the pit entry wall there. As he heads down the main straight for another lap. Brucey there in 2nd, just coming now out of the last corner to the timing beam. Kenobi, likewise with him, is you can see that gap a little bit bigger to Kenobi than what Brucey's got to Dennis. Evil Knievel there. Another sizable gap to him as well. Then we got Rossi in 5th. Jason there in 6th. Catman in 7th. Sporting the Bolton FC on his kit. Then we have Black Rhino just in front of Smiles now. Intermediates compared to wet, so Smiles will have the better tyre performance here over Black Rhino on those intermediates. I do believe it's only Black Rhino and Brucey on the intermediates at the minute. No one else has gone for them, I don't think. I'll just quickly click through. Yep, just Brucey and Black Rhino on the inters at the minute. Lots of sideways action from Dennis as he comes through the Schumacher S's there. Rain light blinking. We're going to expect the rain to stop soon. Definitely slow down. Couple of things to mention as we don't really have anything going on at the minute. We've got a few exciting championships starting. As you can see, the rain is now easing off. You can see the blue line starting to dwindle. But yeah, a few exciting championships starting soon. We've got Bruce's multi-class mini league starting on the 21st on Sunday, which is Father's Day. That's going to be Group 1, Group 3 and Group 4s, different races. Obviously we got the new updates GT with the new hybrid Group 1 cars. So that's going to be interesting to see. And you've got James, he's going to have the ITCC starting very soon on Tuesdays. It's the Infinity Touring Car Championship. It's going to be very interesting. He's got some different tyre rules going on there. So that's going to be interesting to see over the weeks. Lots of interest for these both championships. So if you are interested and not signed up yet, I'd get your name down, get a place. And then obviously after this championship, the GT3, we're going to have a few little mixed events before the next season of the GT3 starts. Group 4 machinery, that's going to be the MRC flagship championship. Everyone's favourite to get involved with. As we plug away the laps, looks like the rain is easing off here, so Bruce is going to start getting that extra performance in his tyres from the inters. Same with Black Rhino, should start opening those gaps pretty soon. Bruce is there, just coming out the hairpin, up the Schumacher S's. Kenobi's now coming out the hairpin now. that gap has come down to Kenobi from Brucey a little bit. Evil Knievel there in 4th, just heading down to the hairpin now, followed by Rossi right behind him in 5th. Jason there in 6th. We have Catman in 7th, a little bit of no man's land for him in the minute. Then we have Black Rhino followed by Smiles. Smiles still sticking with him. But Black Rhino should start leaving her in his tracks soon as the heavy wet conditions start to become lighter. Those wet tyres will start to wear a little bit as the dry line forms. Wolf there in 10th. And you see Dennis just getting a bit sideways there out the last corner. He's going to start lapping Wolf soon. And back up to Smiles. This is the closest battle on track at the minute. Smiles just sticking with Black Rhino. Just following him round as we go through a couple of corners there. Now down to the hairpin. This is where the meat of the race will happen. We've got 1 hour to go. So just through the Schumacher-esses, then over the hill, up the crest, now through the left-hander. BMW not too shabby at this stage. It's an interesting sponsor livery from First as well. A very good collaboration with First, the buses, and the BMW with Smiles Magoo. You don't see a First liveried race car every day. She's got the MRC advertisement board on there, and also Golden Brownie's channel, Golden Brownie Racing. You got Craig's channel on there, TK Smoggy Karting, and also my channel there as well, Crazy Bit Racing. So great sponsorship for the BMW there. I see a little bit of a gap forming between her and Black Rhino. She's still right behind him though. So we'll head back up to the front then, because I think Brucey is starting to catch Dennis as the rain dwindles. But Bruce is low on the fuel. Is he going to dive into the pits? He certainly is. What's he going to do here? Is he just going to fuel up, or is he going to change tyres? There is a little bit of a dry line forming. Kenobi's just coming through now towards the final corner. He goes through. He's going to stay on those wet tyres. Same with Dennis. Knievel now coming through. Got Rossi right behind him. Looks like these two are going to go through for another lap. Jason just coming towards the chicane now as Bruce is fueling already, so he must have not have changed tyres. He's going to dive into the pits as well. Now you can see though that pit line entry is very, very wet. The exit's going to be really wet as well. So if you are going to change onto the dry soon, you've got to watch the pit exit. Brucey comes out the pits then on the same set of tyres. So just opts for a quick fueling. He's got a fuel tank of fuel. So Jason now comes to his pit box. He's going to change the tyres. Looks like he's putting more wets on, or possibly intermediates at this stage. Let's see what he comes out on. You see Catman there, he's coming to the pits as well. Full fuel for Jason there. Black Rhino goes through for another lap, but Smiles comes into the pits, so she's following suit. Jason comes out on the soft tyres. Does he get braked for turn 1? He doesn't. He goes straight on and into the wet stuff. He's going to be there for a while. Yellow flag is showing there as Black Rhino gets the car stopped. Jason manages to get out of the wet stuff there, so he retakes 7th position. Catman still fueling up. What tyres is he going to go on? Surely he's going to go on the soft tyres as well now. Yep, there he is. He's out on the soft tyres. Can he get into turn 1? He cuts the white line, gets the penalty, but stays on track. A little bit in the wet stuff there. Gets it going. Oh. So Smiles, she opts for a new set of wet tyres. Oh, intermediates, there we go, just changed. So she's not committing to the slick tyres yet. Wolf goes through on those wet tyres, but Smiles should get that overtake done and dusted again. Catman with a 3-second penalty. We've got Dennis into the pits, so Kenobi goes into lead on the wet tyres still. Evil Knievel goes through with Rossi right behind him on those wets still. Brucey there on the fresh intermediate, on the used intermediate, sorry. With fresh fuel, he's surely going to be able to dispatch these two as well. Dennis now coming out on the racing mediums, gets the penalty for cutting the pit line. So he's opted for those mediates. Gonna have to be a little bit careful at the first few laps. The dry line isn't that wide at the minute. Careful of those curbs. Black Rhino there on the intermediate still. There's Jason on the soft tyres catching him up, but he's going to be really, really careful, especially over the chicane here. Listen to that engine thunder as he makes his way to the hairpin. Catman there just going to serve his penalty now. Now he can start getting some lap times down on the soft tyres. Wolf there in 10th with Smiles right behind him. The leader just lapping these two now. You see Smiles there right behind the leader. So the leader has lapped for the first time on lap 20. What's Kenobi going to do this time? He's going to stay out on those wets. Knievel there is in second, east on the wet tyres, but Brucey is there on the intermediates. Let's see if Brucey can get past these two. This is the closest battle on track at the minute. Rossi just defending from Brucey there. Brucey's on the outside. Knievel into the pits. So Knievel opts for that pit line then. Brucey on the all the way to the pit wall on that wet line, just trying to keep his tyres alive for the minute. He's going to follow Rossi into the first turn, gets on the inside here, manages to get that overtake done as they go through turn 1, but Rossi's still there on the inside. Brucey using the outside line for the traction, gets a little bit squirrely on the end there, gets on the curb, still in the wet stuff on the outside line there. Should be able to get the drive off and get the inside, which he does, and gets that move on Rossi done then. So Brucey in second from Rossi in third. Dennis there in fourth on the mediums. Very slow last lap, obviously with the pit stop and having to be gingerly on those tyres, but you see that dry line is now getting wider and wider each lap. But these guys have got to be careful. That pit entry line will be very, very wet still. So these guys just coming through then. Evil Knievel there on the intermediates now in fifth position. More fuel, so he has not committed to the wet tyres, slick tyres yet. Black Rhino there in sixth, just coming through the first turn on the intermediates. Jason on softs in seventh. Gets a little bit wide there, gets on the wet stuff, got to be careful. Catman just coming through the chicane, but he's going to be lapped soon as well. He's in 8th position. Smiles in 9th, just behind Kenobi, who's now pitting. So Kenobi goes in from the lead on the wet tyres. He's going to get rid of those. Brucey comes through in second. He's going to have to think about getting some slick tyres soon, as those intermediates now start to wear a hell of a lot more. A little bit of slide from Brucey there as he gets out of the last corner. Bruce is going to find himself back up into first. Kenobi just getting service now. Ross is into the pits. Dennis coming through on those mediums. Now he can start hunting Brucey down. So he makes his way onto lap 22, down to the first corner. Let's see if he gets the braking right for the first turn. Magical from Dennis there. Gets the car stopped, turned in. Kenobi comes out. He's on mediums and he gets rotated into the kitty later there. That pit exit is a very, very slip and slidey for the slick tyres, but he's now back onto the dry line and away as Wolf just unlaps himself from 10th. Knievel there on the intermediate still, just coming around the complex, followed by Rossi, who's now on the soft tyres. Let's see how well he can keep those soft tyres going. He might have had a spin out the pits, but we missed it. Black Rhino there in 6th on the intermediate still. He's going to have to think about pitting as well soon. Jason there in 7th on those softs, still doing good. Getting fast lap times now. Capman there in 8th. He's had a mixed bag of lap times at the minute. Let's see what this lap is going to be. It's looking like it's going to be a quicker one. So he gets the power down out the final turn. It's going to be a 2:05. We don't actually have the fastest lap at the minute, which I believe I put all the information on. So maybe something wrong with the replay, but it's not showing the fastest lap. There's Smiles on the intermediate, just coming through, getting on that wet line to cool the tyres down for her. Wolf there in 10th, just behind the leader. Kenobi's got back past him. Brucey though is in 1st, still leading the way on Leo's Inters, still not pitting for a set of slick tyres. So he's going to carry on this endeavour probably until those intermediates are ready to chuck in the bin. He wants to make sure that pit exit is as dry as possible. But he's going to have to pit sometime. Dennis there in 2nd on the racing mediums, still doing good times. He got the fastest. Oh, there we go. Now the fastest lap time has appeared. A 2:04.3 from Dennis. So Dennis is the fastest man on track. Kenobi there, just coming through the complex. You see Wolf behind him, he's lapped him. Just getting on the exit there a little bit. A wet line will actually cool the tyres of the slick tyres, but you've got to be careful in the same instance. Can't do it on an area where you've got to actually brake for a corner, because slick tyres don't really like braking on wet surfaces. So Knievel there in 4th. On those intermediates, he's going to have to think about pitting very, very shortly. That dry line is now encroaching on the wet area now. Rossi there on softs. Surely, if he doesn't have a mistaken spin, he should be able to dispatch Knievel pretty soon. Jason there in 6th has now got the fastest lap as well. He's on a 2:04.0 the last lap. So fast laps for everyone at the minute. Black Rhino there in 7th, just runs it a little bit wide on the gravel there, as we got Smiles and Brucey pitting. So just waiting for Brucey to arrive to the pits. He's still got half a tank of fuel, but the tyres are spent. He's going to have to put the slick tyres on now. I'd probably say he's probably going to follow suit of Dennis and Kenobi and come out on a set of mediums. No, he comes out on the softs. He's got to be careful coming out this turn though. Do not cut that pit line, but you've got to be careful not to spin it. And gets okay. Oh no, he loses the back end and spins around. Gets rotated. So Brucey, a long list of people who's got rotated on the first turn there, but managed to get back out and onto the track in third, just in front of Rossi and Knievel there. So great recovery from Brucey, just lost a couple of seconds there, but he's back on it. A little bit of rear end damage from dinking the wall, but he should be able to deal with that. So softs for Brucey, softs for Rossi. Let's see what these guys can pull off now. Rossi's got the fastest lap as well now, the 2:02.4. So let's see how this one develops. Rossi finds himself just coming through the hairpin then, just behind Brucey. Got a purple sector there. Brucey just coming through the Schumacher S's. Evil Knievel just behind these two in the intermediates. Black Rhino there on the intermediates as well. Definitely got to think about pitting for these two soon. Jason there on the softs, doing well at the minute. Catman on the softs as well. He's doing a grand job. Still a big gap between him and Jason though. Smiles there, just about to get lapped from Brucey. Brucey should make quick work of her. Oh, she gets out the way onto the wet stuff. She's on the mediums. Tries to, oh, she gets reset as well. Unfortunate for Smiles there. She didn't really have to jump out of the way like that, but she decided to do that out of courteous for the front runners. But again, if you're listening, Smiles, you don't really need to do that. Just down your line, the leaders will get past you. But she's fairly new to the racing scene, so it's fair and fair for her there. Wolf there in 10th. Just getting lapped by Jason, but back up to the front then. Dennis leading the way on the mediums after Brucey pitted. There's Kenobi on the mediums in second. Bruce is there in third on those softs. Can he catch these two up? Can he catch this gap up? Surely he's going to be able to, because he's right behind Kenobi, setting fastest times. 2:01.6 for Rossi there. This should be a fast lap time from Brucey as well. Let's see if we can plug these laps away. But we've got Rossi right behind Brucey. Let's see if Rossi can keep on the back of him and put some pressure on to the Mercedes driver. 666 purple sector for Rossi. The number of the beast. So Rossi there in fourth position. I've come up to an hour now. I'm going to have a little break. I do need to pop to the toilet. So if you want to enjoy the action, I will be back very shortly. Right, I'm back just in time. You saw Dennis there go wide in the hairpin there onto the gravel. So that's going to cost him with a little mistake there. That's going to open, close that gap to Kenobi then, as Kenobi is there. Still a sizable lead from Dennis, but it's not going to help him. You've got Black Rhino finally in the pits. Knievel's already come in the pits as well. He's on the soft tyres. You're welcome, Dennis. Just in time, mate. At least you didn't get rotated like I did. So Dennis then leaned the way into the final hairpin. He goes for lap 26. Yeah, I do apologise about having to leave the comms for a little bit, but rather than pausing it and making you guys wait, decided just to run to the toilet. I did need to pee. All this rain is making me want to go. So, second position then, Kenobi. But as you can see, he's got Brucey right behind him. He's actually on the wet side of the track here. As I said, the wet line can cool the slick tyres down, which makes them go further, but got to be careful not to get on that wet line too much, especially when you're coming to the braking zone, because you will go straight on. But that gap is coming down for Brucey. See Kenobi there coming through just in front of him. Rossi there. Oh, Rossi, what's happened to Rossi? Rossi was right behind Brucey. He's gone for an absolute gargantuan spin. So he comes through the corner, he just runs a little bit wide onto that wet stuff. Spins, gets onto the other wet stuff on the other side of the track. And then he's going to be stuck there for a little bit. Can he get back onto the track here? Fortunate costly mistake for Rossi there. Managed to get on the track. He's got front right wheel damage. Very, very unlucky for Rossi there. Is looking good right behind Brucey. Fast lap times as well, a 2:06. Let's see if we can get back on it and catch them back up. But back to this battle then. Brucey right behind. We've got someone else spinning. It's not Dennis. Let's see who that is. It's Black Rhino. Black Rhino's gone for a spin. Let's see what happens here. So he's serving his penalty. He pulls onto the wet line as he serves his penalty. So he tried to do the right thing and got on the wet stuff there. Unfortunate for him, but now he's going to have a fast approaching Catman. Managed to not spin this time. So another one to add to the long list of rotations. But you can see Kenobi now coming under fire from Brucey. Brucey is looking on fire at the minute. Very close between the Ferrari and Mercedes driver here. Brucey looks like he thought better of it. Slips in behind Kenobi then. As we go through the chicane. Now towards the last corner, so Bruce is going to have to rethink this overtake. Try again. He is on the faster tyre at the minute, but you can see the tyre wear difference between these two. So let's see if Brucey can get this move done into the first turn. He follows Kenobi onto the wet stuff. Under braking for the first turn. Brucey on the outside line. Tips into the middle. Yellow flag is going to cost Kenobi. Brucey, sorry. Who's that spinning? That's Catman. Catman's gone for a rotation. But out the yellow flag. Something happened there as I was looking there. So Kenobi, what happens to him? He gets the distraction by Catman there. Little bit of lapse of concentration. Runs out wide, gets on the wet stuff. Managed to keep it going. So nice recovery for Kenobi there. But Brucey gets that position done then. Back up into second he goes. Now he's going to try and catch Dennis, who's just in front, a corner away. Just heading down towards the hairpin. So Dennis goes through the hairpin now. Keeps that line on the inside, on the dry stuff. You can see Black Rhino there. About to be lapped just in front of Dennis. Brucey there. Now coming towards the Schumacher S's in second. Kenobi right behind him in third. Rossi there in fourth. Big gap after that Cost a mistake for him. Evil Knievel there in 5th on the soft tyres. Cheers Dennis. So Dennis is on the fuel map 6 at the minute. Oh, fuel map 3. So he is fuel saving. So Brucey is closing that gap. I'm not sure if Bruce is fuel saving at this minute of the race. So it might be on full attack mode. So Dennis playing the long game here. Kenobi there in 3rd. He might be doing the same as well. They're all on the similar sort of... Yeah, Bruce has got slightly more fuel here. So he might be fuel saving as well. Kenobi a little bit more fuel than both of them. So it's very similar between these three. Oh, I'm sure Brucey does. I'll start leaving them sweeties out. Dennis Kepman into the pits then from 8th position. As you can hear the alarm go off. Woo! Love the pit sound for Nurburgring. If you did watch the footage coverage of the 24 hours of Nordus Life, you will have heard that alarm in the pit go off many times. I think there was about 160 cars around the track, so as you can see now, Catman just getting the fuel he needs, and he's on to mediums, and he gets a 3-second pit line penalty, and another one is going to have 6 seconds, unfortunately for him there, but does it the spin, so there's method in the madness there. Smiles into the first turn on those mediums, almost a rotation there. She managed to save it, great recovery from her. So she's coming through the complex there. Wolf there in 10th on the medium tyres. He's followed by, I think there's Black Rhino. Yeah, Black Rhino is going to lap him for 7th. But there's Dennis in 1st. The gap is there in 2nd. Brucey starting to catch Dennis now, closing that gap as we head towards lap 30. Dinks the bollard there on the chicane. Now through the last turn he goes, feathering the throttle as he goes out of the corner there on the exit. You can see that dry line now as Dennis goes side by side with Black Rhino to lap him. Managed to get it done. Can Brucey lap Black Rhino on this lap as well? We'll have to see. And see yellow flag up ahead. Oh, Wolf spun it out of the first turn. Unfortunate for Wolf there. He's having an absolute miserable race this time, but he's still sticking with it. So great job from him so far. As we head out of the complex then, Brucey is just going to lap a Black Rhino there. Nice, quick, easy, simple. Yellow flag up front. We've got someone else spinning. It's Jason. Jason's had another little rotation. Nothing serious though. Gets out of the way of the faster cars. Now the sun appears. It's going to dry that track even more, but we're going to have pit stops soon for these guys. They're going to have to pit one more time. It's going to be a bit close for these guys towards the end of the race. I think Brucey was probably wishing he'd gone longer on the first couple of stints now. But still going to have to pit. You're going to have to be careful of that pit entry because it will be wet. It's not going to have the same drying effect as the track. And Dennis there in 1st. He's got a few more laps before he has to pit. He's got a quarter of a tank now. Brucey just got over a tank, quarter of a tank. He hops over the curbs through the chicane. About half an hour left in this race to go. Kenobi there in 3rd, just coming out of the chicane into the final corner. He's going to lap Black Rhino soon as well. As we see Jason pit from 7th position. Rossi there coming through the right hander now down the hill towards the chicane. Evil Knievel in 5th on the soft tyres, just gets past Smiles Magoo. He's on the soft tyres, not too much wear for him as well, still got over half a tank. Black Rhino there on the fresh mediums. There's Jason just getting fueled up. Catman on the mediums, just under half a tank for him. Smiles, same with her. And Wolf on, same with him as well. We'll just cut to Jason, see where he comes out. Should be 7th position still for him. Gets a 3-second penalty for the pit lines on the entry. Keeps it out of the exit. And he goes straight on as he gets on the wet stuff. Still very wet on the exit there. But managed to regain control of the car. It's not that wet now. But he will have to serve that penalty. Back up to the front. Bruce has actually got past Dennis, so we'll have to see where this happened. Go back a few positions there. Back in time. So Brucey comes through the first turn in 2nd. Dennis up in front. He just gets on the wet stuff there. A little bit of a mistake from Dennis there. Cost him 1st position. Brucey sails on past. So Brucey then making the difference. Now into 1st position. Dennis right behind him in 2nd. About the same fuel for these two as well. So this is a race to see who can get into the pits first. I'd say a few more laps. Probably about round 34 maybe. They will have to pit for the last time. So Dennis is right behind him then. Let's see how this one unfolds for these two as we go up through the Schumacheresses. Dennis just following Brucey through then. Softs to mediums. Worn softs for Brucey, but it's still got the performance he needs. As we now head towards the chicane. Just over 10 laps to go in this race then. As we're 1 hour and 10 minutes almost. Tell you what, it's not felt like an hour and 10 minutes. It's gone quite quickly this race so far. So Brucey on to lap 33 then, 32 sorry. Kenobi there in 3rd position, just behind these two as we come through the first turn. No issues there. Rossi there in the 4th, just coming through the chicane now. He's followed by Evil Knievel in 5th. Just gone past the Schumacheresses now through the left-hander here. Into the blinding sun and through the right-hander. Yeah, it's crazy, Dennis. Just time evaporates. Especially doing it for commentary with 10 people, you'd think it'd be boring, but it's just zipped away. So Black Rhino there in 6th, just on his way down to the hairpin. Jason there in 7th, followed by Catman in 8th. Smiles there in 9th, just coming towards the end of lap 30. So these guys are 2 laps down. Wolf there, just coming out the pits. He's got a 3-second pit entry penalty line. That's close there at the end of the pit line there, but he doesn't get a penalty for it. Gets on the wet stuff and he gets rotated again. Unfortunate for Wolf there. Oh, and he gets reset for his trouble. That's going to cost him. Smiles laps him for position there. She's on lap 31. So Brucey comes through the last corner to go on another lap. Now we're going to be on lap 33. Dennis there in second. He's going to come through for another lap for him. Kenobi there right behind him in third. Rossi there in fourth. He's doing a great job at the minute. Well, nothing really going on. Oh my God. Stop hitting that button. We will go on board with Brucey for a lap of Nurburgring. Just coming through the Mercedes complex here now. Got to be careful of that outside line. Don't get on the pit of the white stuff. You can see the small dot in his mirror, which is Dennis. Now tipping it down in the left hander, now through the right hander. Onto the exit we go, thundering down to the hairpin. Into second gear we go through the hairpin. Now we go through the gears. And Brucey is short shifting, fuel saving at the minute. Through the S. Now up towards the left hander. Yep, there's a lifting and coasting. A little bit of a slide there from him. Get the power down the Mercedes. Now is he going to pit this lap or go for another one? The short shifting is probably going to go for another lap. Get that fuel nice and low. A little bit of ding on the bollard there, on the chicane there. Through the last corner. Feathering the throttle, and he's going to race to the line. It's going to be a 2:03.6. There's Dennis just coming through now as well. Oh no, sorry, Kenobi. We've had a change of position. Dennis is now down into third. So Dennis now following Kenobi through. It's 2:05.1 his last lap to Kenobi's 2:01. So did have a little moment then, I'm guessing, on that lap. But he's going to follow Kenobi through on low fuel as well. Same with Kenobi, same with Brucey. All similar fuel levels for these three then. So it's looking like it's going to be a three-way battle to the end of the race. As Rossi finds out how wet the pit entry is. Spins the car around. And it gets into the pits. Another little mistake for him there. Okay, so Dennis was heavily fuel saving, then that's why Kenobi got past. But now Dennis is back past Kenobi. So let's just have a little look what happened here. Kenobi ran wide. Dennis had to evade a manoeuvre there to avoid him. So watching Rossi come in the pits. So change of position once again. That's going to help Dennis there. You can see they're all trying to get to lap 35. Bruce is going to be the first into the pits. And then as he comes through the last couple of corners in this race on this track. As we head towards the 1 hour 15 minute mark. He's definitely going to have to pit, but he's got to be mindful that pit entry is very, very wet. Can he get into the pit safely? So he takes the shallow line off the chicane, gets onto the wet stuff. Oh no, he's gone straight back onto the track. Costly mistake from Brucey there. Dennis makes it in, Kenobi makes it in, but Brucey low on the fuel already. This is going to be squeaky bum time for Brucey then after that mistake. He's going to have to go for another lap. So one of a few errors from Brucey then. I think he's only done 2 errors this race, with a spin coming out the pits, and then now this. Couldn't get it stopped in time. Didn't counter in the wet surface of the pit entry. Now he's going to have to struggle. Is he going to run out of fuel? You see Dennis and Kenobi are already fueling now. Bruce is just only coming down towards the hairpin. So I would probably say Dennis and Kenobi are either going to overtake him if he runs out of fuel, or they're going to get into first and second when he pits. Very unfortunate for Brucey then. Still got fuel at the minute, but it's not going to last. I don't think it's going to last until the end of the lap. You can't see any fuel on the fuel meter now. So when does it go? It's gone now. That's it. He's out of fuel. So he's going to coast from here to the pit lane. That's a long time to go. Meanwhile, Dennis and Kenobi are only coming down to the hairpin now. So it's going to cost him. Smiles is in the pits now. And Bruce is still trundling away. He's going 50 miles an hour down the back straight. He's had a few incidents like this where he's run out of fuel over the seasons, and it strikes again, but not because he was not trying to fuel save. This is because he couldn't get into the pits. So up there, Dennis, they're just coming through the kink now onto the back straight, so he's definitely going to lose first and second position. And Brucey just trundles on into the pit now. He definitely can make that corner now. And he's going to pit from first then. And there's Dennis and Kenobi just coming through the final turn now. So it's going to be a case of blinding laps from Brucey now to see if he can catch first and second. But I don't think it's going to happen. He's going to have to pull something magic out this time. So Dennis then leading the way in first position. Kenobi there in second. And Bruce is still in the pits. Knievel now coming through in fourth. He's probably going to beat Brucey out the pits as he goes wide through the last turn. Kenobi is close to Bruce. Not Kenobi, sorry, it's Knievel. Knievel very close to Bruce. He gets out of the pits. Just behind Knievel, Brucey. Right behind him, I think Knievel might let him past. Yeah, he does. He's just running his own race. Doesn't want to hold up a faster guy. So, smart driving from Knievel there. Brucey back up into third, but this is the gap. They've just gone through the hairpin. He's only coming down to it. He's got 2 more corners to go before he gets there. So that's the gap. I'd say it's about 20 to 30 seconds. Kenobi and Dennis sticking together as they were in the first couple of laps. So after an hour and 20-minute racing, they're still together. After all the pit stops a cycle, this is why we love endurance racing. So, see Dennis and Kenobi coming through the chicane for the 36th time. You see Black Rhino now into the pits. Pit crew comes out. Pit alarm sounds. He's going to arrive to his pit box any second now. We've got cars just coming past the pits now. There he is, into the pits. Coca-Cola Porsche. Yeah, it was just tried to push it too much into that pit line. Should have taken more caution. So Dennis leading the way then from Kenobi in second. This is going to be a battle to the end of the race. We've got we've got 11 laps to go. Brucey there in third, just coming past the pit line now. Knievel there in fourth, followed by Rossi in fifth, just coming from the chicane now. There's Jason in sixth. He's just come out the complex. Black Rhino there in seventh, being lapped by the leaders. Chapman there in 8th in the Subaru, just hopping over the chicane there. Smiles McGill in 9th. She's coming towards the left and the right before the back straight. And Wolf there in 10th. Still plugging the laps away. He's on the soft tyres. Just coming through the last corner now in that Beetle. So Dennis then leaning away still from Kenobi. These two going toe to toe still. Longest race of the season, almost coming to an end. Surely no more drama or mishaps can happen from this point out towards the end of the race. We've got about 20 minutes left. 10 more laps to go. Brucey there in third. The other two are just coming to the first corner now. He is just coming through the last corner. So still a sizable gap between him and the top two. But he's putting these fast lap times down, and this one's going to be a really quick one. He sets a 58.7. 58.7 from Brucey then. That's a pretty fast lap time. Knievel now just coming to the pits. Rossi is coming through the chicane. Yep, thank you, Dennis. Gotta be an alien to beat you. Especially that Kenobi and also Rossi. So Rossi goes through, then up into fourth. Knievel still in the pits, just getting the fuel in. Jason just coming through the hairpin then in 6th position. Black Rhino there in 7th. Catman in 8th. Just coming through the first turn. Smiles there in 9th on our way to the chicane. And then we have Wolf there in 10th now coming through the first turn in that lovely Beetle. Very nice liveries from everyone this season as well. Some nice liveries on show. So Kenobi there. Oh, massive slide from Dennis there. Just gets on the gravel there, but managed to keep it going straight. Lovely save. We still have to decide a driver of the day as well, so I think at 1 hour 30 minutes I will decide the driver of the day. After everything I've seen this race, it's been a tough race for the guys and girl. There's Smiles there in 9th, just about to be lapped. She's on lap 37, so still just a couple of laps behind the front leaders. But Kenobi getting past Dennis then now leads the way. Brucey there in 3rd. Very topsy-turvy for most of these guys. Up and down the field. Come through the field. few costly mistakes from a couple of guys, but as the story has unfolded, it's been a cracking race for Rossi. Evil Knievel there in 5th, just coming through the stadium section. Halder there in 6th. Black Rhino in 7th in the Porsche on the medium tyres. Catman now just coming out the pits once again. Now stays on the pit exit. It's dry enough now for them to stay on the line. Smiles just coming across the line, start her lap 38, and Wolf there is on lap 37 in 10th position. Jason now into the pits. He's going to pit from 6th position. Back up to the front, Kenobi leading the way still. I think my driver of the day, I would have to pick Kenobi this time. He's been on it from the first lap. Kept out in front. Kept out the longest on those first set of intermediates. Decided to switch to the wets for the second stint, and then took them to right to where he pitted for the mediums, and then he's gone for the softs for the last stint. Managed to have a mostly clean race. A few little mistakes here and there, but on the most part, he's managed to keep it out of trouble, and now finds himself in first. So yeah, I think I'm going to have to give the driver of the day to Kenobi. I think it's a close second to Smiles. She's had a lovely performance this race. I think she comes in a close second to Kenobi. And then third drive of the day, I would have to give it to Wolf. He's had a miserable race with spins and mishaps, but he's kept it going, kept at it. So I think he's my third driver of the day. Well, comes in third for that little competition, but as we see Kenobi just coming through the complex for the 41st time. Just a few more laps to go in this race now. Fatigue will start to show with these drivers. Little mistakes going to start creeping here and there. Butts are going to be sore. Wrists are going to be sore. So this is the time where the fatigue starts to set in. You see that gap opening between these two. A little bit of a gap. There's Brucey. Still catching these guys. He's got a 57.9 now for the fastest lap. Can anyone beat that fastest lap? There's Rossi. I think he might be coming into the pit soon for some fresh softs. Maybe go for that fastest lap. Evil Knievel there in 5th. He's on the fresh softs. A little bit of a gap between these two, so still all to play for the top half positions. Black Rhino there in 6th. He's going to come under fire from getting lapped soon as well, I believe, from Rossi. Jason there in 7th. He's just been lapped by Rossi. Catman there. Overtaking penalty is going to come across the timing beam. Start lap 40. Smiles just pulling over to one side, letting Brucey go through. Gets on the wet stuff. She gets reset again. Unfortunate for Smiles there. Both in 10th. Just chilling out now, just plugging the laps away, driving his own race. He's still going to get a 10th position, still going to get a chunk of points for him. Back up to the front then, we're on lap 42. And Kenobi still leading this race from Dennis there in second. Brucey there in third, just coming out through the complex. These two have just come out of the complex, so that time is coming down. But I don't think it's going to be enough. You can see those soft tyres are starting to wear as well. He's going to start losing performance. Last couple of laps he's had sub 2 minutes. These guys in front are doing 1:59s and 2-minute lap times. So the time difference isn't too much for these guys. But with Brucey with a 2-minute lap time, all the tyres starting to dwindle. And the answer is yes. So Rossi then on at lap 42. Just behind the leaders. There's Evil Knievel on 42 as well. So the first lap car is Black Rhino. So the top 5 all on the lead lap. As we now come down towards the GP Strecket, the bottom of the GP Strecket, to the hairpin. Through the hairpin we go. Black Rhino there now making his way up the hill. The track is mostly dry now. So through the Schumacher S as we go. There's Jason just behind 6th position. Catman there in 8th. Followed by Smiles in 9th, just coming through the last corner now. Wolf there in 10th. Bring up the rear. There's Kenobi. About to lap Wolf. So Wolf will have to pull over to the side. Catman's just been lapped as well. Little bit of a bump in there for the leader on the lap car. So Kenobi gets through there. Dennis gets through as well in second. Brucey now just coming down towards the hairpin. More sirens outside. It's a bit of a busy day today outside, but the racing still goes on and on. So lap 43 for these then. The front runners are just coming through the lap cars. So it's down board with Kenobi as he comes through the last turn. Let's see what lap time he sets. It's going to be a 2-minute. We'll actually do a lap with Kenobi. Give him a lap guide with the leader then and the driver of the day. So you tip it into the first turn, get it slowed down to 40 miles per hour, first gear. Now get up to the second gear. Come through this. It's a long corner. You're going to be patient. Get the power down. Now down towards the next corner in the complex. Down to turn 1, gear 1. Slow it down to about 50 miles an hour. Then tip it through here. Now we go through the gears into third. Now to fourth. And then we brake for this corner down to third. It's not a very slow corner. Now we drop it down to second. Slow it down to about 56. Now down the run it down to the hairpin. Moving up the gears as fast as possible. Make sure to stay with fuel as well. Into the hairpin we go then. Turn 1, gear 1, sorry. Down to about 55 miles per hour. Feather the throttle on the exit. Get that done. Rossi into the pits then, so he's probably going for a fresh set of softs as we go for the Schumacher S's. We're in gear 4. Now we're going to probably go to 5th. As he now brake heavy for the next corner into second gear. Little bit of pause here. Now down the run, downhill towards the right kink. Work it up through the gears as we head now up the hill towards the chicane. We're in fifth gear. Are we going to get sixth gear yet? No, he's going to let it run long. Now braking down to gear 1. Slow it down below 50 miles per hour through the chicane. Careful not to get too much on the curbs. You will get a penalty or unstart the car. Now through the last corner we go. In second gear, 70 miles per hour. Now up the gears we go again. Race it to the line, and it's going to be a 2:04. So thank you for Kenobi for the lap guide there. You see the soft tyres are dwindling for him as well. Dennis there on the mean tyres got plenty of tyre life left as we've got 3 laps left. Brucey there just coming through the timing beam. It's going to be a 2:07. Still holds the fastest lap of a 1:57.9. Evil Knievel now in 4th, but you've got Bro Rossi on the fresh set of soft tyres. Low fuel as well. He's definitely going to go for that fastest lap. Can he get 4th position from Evil Knievel as well? So, we'll see how this plays out for the last few laps. Past the 90-minute mark already. 6 minutes past it. As we dive through the chicane towards the final turn. There you go. We'll flick just through the grid. I don't think anyone else is happening. There's Jason 6, Black Rhino Lane 7, Catman 8th behind him. A little bit of gap between these two. Smiles there in 9th, just coming for the complex now, and there's Wolf in 10th. So the battle is with the top 5 cars. So you've got Kenobi still leading the way from Dennis, but Dennis closing that gap once again. Kenobi should be coming under fire from Dennis pretty soon. You got Brucey on his own, trying to catch the leaders, but I'm not sure he's got enough time. Those soft tyres are almost gone, so probably going to have to try and settle for 3rd. Just get the car home to finish. Rossi there in 4th position. Now, I've been getting past Evil Knievel. He can mount a charge to get that fastest lap. We'll see what this sector time is going to be for him. Purple sector by nearly 5 tenths. So he's definitely on set to set a new fastest lap. Brucey there in 3rd on his own. He's not to set any new laps. He's fuel saving to the end now. Dennis and Kenobi, still a gap there between them. See how this gets on. We got the rest of this lap and then one more lap to go. So it is crunch time for these guys now. A little bit more fuel for Kenobi than Dennis. There's Brucey just coming through the right hander towards the hairpin. He can literally see the leaders on the other side of the track. Rossi there in 4th. Does he set a new fastest lap time? He doesn't this time. He's going to try and go for another one. You can see Smiles Magoo just up in front of him. So she stays out the way of these guys coming through on the lead lap. Check back up the front. Kenobi and Dennis now coming towards us again for the penultimate time. The next time will to be the end of the race. So Dennis has got one more chance, one more lap to try and clinch this victory from Kenobi's hands. So Brucey there in 3rd, just coming through the chicane. It's over for him. He just needs to do the final lap to settle for that last podium spot. It's been a great race for him though. Rossi in 4th is flying on those fresh set of softs. Evil Knievel there in 5th. Jason in 6th. Black Rhino 7th. Catman there in 8th. We've got Smiles in 9th and Wolf in 10th. So back up to front then. It's hotting up between these two for the last lap then. We will try and catch people as they cross the line. I think Wolf is going to finish on this lap now. Should be finishing. There he goes, he finishes. He's on the final lap now. Doesn't finish yet, but leaders are close together now. First and second. Dennis on the inside. He's going to have the line for the Schumacher S's. We're side by side as we go. Kenobi gets on the curb there, bounces. It's a little bit of a touch between them. Not sure whether that was intentional by Kenobi. But it just looked like it got on the curb and bounced into Dennis. Very unfortunate incident there. Maybe one for the stewards to look at. But I think that's going to be it for these two guys then. No one else has finished yet. So unfortunately, the good race that we had has come to end with a little bit of an incident, but not really a big incident there. Just got on the curbs. No malicious intent from Kenobi, as they're very close coming through the final corner, sorry. It's going to be Kenobi and Dennis, first and second. Catman is going to finish in 8th position for his race. Great result for him. Then we're going to have Brucey. Gets a little bit on the grass there at the final turn. He's going to come home to finish in 3rd and take that last podium spot then. Pulls over to the right side. Beautiful showing from him then. Now the next person to finish is going to be... It's going to be Wolf. Wolf is going to bring the Beetle home to finish in 10th. It's going to be another solid result for Wolf then with the Beetle. Great job for him for sticking with it. Next on the finishing board is going to be Jason. He's going to come home to finish in 6th position. Another great solid result for him. Few spins for him, but he managed to make it work. Then we're going to have... It's going to be Rossi. He's going to finish in 4th. He managed to maybe clinch. Yeah, he did. He was 1:57.9. He gets clinched as that fastest lap from Brucey. Bruce should not be happy with that. Then we've got Evil Knievel finishing in 5th. Great result for him. Black Rhino's going to finish in 7th. And then Smiles is going to come home to finish in 9th. Great result for her. And that's going to be it, guys. And you're very welcome, Dennis. I do hope you all enjoyed the 100 minutes of commentary there. Now I'm going to give my voice a rest because I do feel it going a little bit. So until next time, I've been a Crazy Brit. See you there.